Chapter 1. Why Thinking in English Changes Everything. When most people start learning English, they focus on words and grammar rules. They try to remember long vocabulary lists or repeat sentence patterns from a book. And yes, those things are important. But here's the truth. Knowing English words is not the same as thinking in English. You can know hundreds of words and still feel stuck when you try to speak. Why? Because if your brain is still thinking in your native language, you will always have a small delay before you speak. You will have to translate each thought, word by word, into English, and that makes speaking feel slow and stressful. Think about this. You're sitting in a cafe, and a waiter asks you, "Would you like something to drink?" If you were thinking in your native language, first you hear the English words, then you translate them, then you think of your answer in your language, then you translate your answer into English. That's 4 steps for one simple question. No wonder it feels tiring. But if you were thinking directly in English, you hear the words, you understand instantly, and you answer right away. It's fast, natural, and you feel more confident. Translation is not only slow, it also causes mistakes. When we try to match every word in our language to an English word, the meaning can change. Sometimes a sentence that is correct in your language sounds strange in English. That's why people often say something and then feel it doesn't sound right. Thinking in English helps you use the natural patterns of the language, so your sentences are clear and correct without extra effort. Let me give you some examples of how translation slows you down in everyday life. Imagine you are ordering food at a restaurant. The waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" If you translate, you might take a long pause, and the waiter may even repeat the question. Or imagine talking to a friend in English. They tell you a funny story, and you want to laugh and reply, but you need to translate your joke first. By the time you finish, the moment has passed. Or think about being in class, and the teacher asks you a quick question. If you have to translate before answering, you might miss your chance to speak. Now, let me share a short story about one of my students. Her name is Maria, and she is from Brazil. When Maria first joined my class, she had a big vocabulary and knew a lot of grammar. But every time I asked her a question, she paused for a long time before answering. One day she told me, "I understand everything you say, but I have to translate my answers in my head, and that makes me slow." I taught her how to start thinking in English using small steps. At first, she practiced with single words, then short sentences. She stopped trying to translate perfectly and focused on quick thinking. In just 2 months, she was answering my questions without any long pauses. She told me, "It feels like my brain is lighter now." When you are learning to think in English, you can train your brain to notice these things using just one English word. This is easier, faster, and much less scary than trying to speak in full sentences at the start. Let's take some everyday actions. For example, eat, walk, read, sleep. These are simple words, but they are part of your life every single day. When you wake up in the morning and you are having breakfast, instead of thinking, "I am eating," in your native language, just think the word eat in English. When you are walking to the bus stop, just think walk. If you are reading something on your phone, think read. And when you are feeling tired and want to go to bed, think sleep. You don't need to add anything else yet. Just replace your native language thoughts with these single English words. Here's why this works. Your brain is making a direct connection between what you see or do and the English word for it. You are skipping translation. This is the foundation for thinking in English. Later, you will connect these words into sentences, but right now we are building the habit of going to English first. You can practice this anywhere. If you're in the kitchen and you see an apple, think apple. If you hear music, think music. If you feel happy, think happy. The more you do this, the faster your brain will remember the English word without searching for it. Now here's a fun game for you. For the next 2 minutes, I want you to look around wherever you are right now and name everything you see in English. If you see a table, think table. If you see a book, think book. If you see a person, think man or woman. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about making a sentence. Just say the word in your mind. Spike moment. Let's actually do this together right now. I'll give you a moment. Look around. Ready? Go. What do you see? Chair, window, phone, pen, bag, shoes, water, light. Keep going. The faster you can name things, the better. If you don't know the English word, just skip it for now and continue with what you do know. This game might seem too easy, but it's very powerful. You are training your brain to see the world in English. Over time, more and more of your thoughts will start to appear in English naturally. Another way to practice is to choose one part of your day and make it your English thinking time. For example, when you brush your teeth, think about everything you see and do in English. Toothbrush, toothpaste, mirror, water, mouth. This turns a simple daily routine into a quick English lesson for your brain. You can also practice with pictures. Look at a photo and name everything in it. For example, if you have a picture of a park, you might see grass, tree, sky, bench, flower, child ball. This works really well if you want to practice without leaving your home. At first, you might only know a few words, and that's okay. The goal here is not to know every single word, but to start making English the first language your brain uses to identify something. Even if you only replace 5 or 10 thoughts each day with English words, that is progress. Remember, this step is like planting seeds. Each word you practice is a seed in your brain. Later, these seeds will grow into full sentences and full conversations. But first, we need to plant them. So, keep practicing this step every day. Just 1 or 2 minutes at a time can make a big difference. And here's the best part. You don't need books, teachers, or a classroom for this. You can do it anywhere, anytime, just by changing the language in your thoughts. When single words feel easy and natural, when you can look around and name many things without hesitation, then you are ready for the next step, connecting them. Let me give you an example. If I just made a cup of tea, I might say, I boil water. I make tea. I drink tea. That's it. 3 short sentences, no translation, just direct English thoughts. Here's your spike moment. I want you to pause the video for 30 seconds and actually say your sentences out loud. Don't just think them silently. Your brain needs to hear your voice speaking English. This is when your mouth and your mind start to work together. So go ahead, pause, say your sentences, and feel that confidence grow. When you do this often, something amazing happens. You'll start to notice that in your daily life, you automatically connect words into short sentences without even trying. You'll see a friend and think, friend waves. You'll open a book and think, I read. You'll take a walk and think, I walk. And the more you do it, the faster your English thinking becomes. So remember, you don't need to wait until you know more English to start thinking in sentences. You can do it today with the words you already know. And each short sentence is like one brick on the road to speaking English naturally. Transition. When single sentences feel easy and natural, that's when the real magic begins. Because now, you're ready to take those sentences and start building real, flowing English thoughts. And that's exactly what we'll do next. Chapter 4, Step 3. Make many stories in your mind. Here is where your thinking in English starts to feel alive. You're no longer just saying single words or short sentences. Now you are connecting ideas. You are making small, simple stories in your mind, and that changes everything. A mini story is not a big, complicated thing. It's just a short series of sentences that describe something that is happening or something that happened. And the best part? You can create these many stories in your head anytime, while walking, cooking, waiting for a bus, or even before you sleep. The secret to making these stories is to use the what, where, when, why method. First, say what is happening. Then, say where it's happening. Add when it's happening. And finally, say why it's happening or how you feel about it. This method gives your brain a clear and easy way to think in English without stopping. For example, you can start with something super simple. I wake up. That's the what. Then add, I wake up in my room. That's the where. Then, I wake up in my room at 7 o'clock. That's the when. Finally, I wake up in my room at 7 o'clock because I want to go to work. That's the why. Now you don't just have one sentence. You have a mini story that your brain made in English. Let's do another one together. Start small. I open the window. That's the what. Add a where. I open the window in my kitchen. Add a when. I open the window in my kitchen in the morning. Add a why. I open the window in my kitchen in the morning because I want fresh air. Now you've told me a tiny story about your life. Many stories are powerful because they give you context. When your brain has context, it remembers the words longer. It also helps you think faster because you're not just trying to remember one word. You're building a picture in your mind. And pictures are easier for your brain than translations. Let me give you another example. I walk to the shop. Where? I walk to the shop near my house. When? I walk to the shop near my house in the evening. Why? I walk to the shop near my house in the evening because I need bread. Can you feel how this makes your English thinking stronger? You're not just learning walk or shop. You're putting them together in a way your brain loves. Here's the spike moment. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to make your own mini story right now. Imagine this. You are at the beach. The sun is shining. The sea is blue. You can hear the sound of the waves. People are walking, laughing, and playing games. You have an ice cream in your hand. Now, use the what, where, when, why method and make a mini story about this. Say it out loud. Yes, right now. Don't just think it, speak it. You might say, I eat ice cream. I eat ice cream at the beach. I eat ice cream at the beach in the afternoon. I eat ice cream at the beach in the afternoon because it's hot and I feel happy. Did you notice something? That story was yours. It came from your mind. And once you start doing this, you will feel more confident more creative, and more comfortable in English. You won't be stuck thinking, "Oh, how do I say this?" Because your brain will already be practicing putting sentences together naturally. Another great thing about many stories is that they can grow. You can start with 3 sentences, then 4, then 5. Before you know it, you can speak for 1 minute in English without stopping, and that's when you start to sound more fluent. So, here's your challenge for today. Make 3 mini stories before you go to sleep tonight. They can be about anything: your breakfast, a trip to the park, or a memory from last weekend. Use the what, where, when, why method every time. Keep them simple, keep them short, and most importantly, keep them in English. Transition. Once you can make many stories like this, you're training your brain to stay in English for longer. And when your brain can stay in English, that's when your speaking starts to feel free. So now, let's move to the next step: keeping your mind in English for longer periods without switching back to your native language. Chapter 5. Surround yourself with English thinking. Your brain is like a sponge. It absorbs whatever you give it the most. If your daily life is full of your native language, then your brain will naturally think in that language. But if you fill your day with more and more English, your brain will start to switch automatically. This is not magic. This is simply how the mind works. It learns to use what it sees, hears, and feels every single day. The more English you surround yourself with, the more natural it will become. Think about this. When a child grows up, they don't like moment. I want you to try something with me. After this video ends, give yourself 5 full minutes where you do not think in your native language at all. Just English. If you see a chair, think chair. If you feel tired, think I'm tired. If you hear a sound, think it's raining or someone is laughing. You might notice your brain wants to go back to your first language, but don't let it. This is training. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, something amazing will happen. You'll be walking down the street, and suddenly you'll realize you've been thinking in English for the past few minutes without even trying. That's when you know your environment and your habits have started to change your brain. So, if you want English to feel natural, you have to live in it. Even for just a few moments each day. Build your English bubble. Fill it with sounds, words, and thoughts. Make English your background music in life. And remember, you don't need to understand every single word. Your brain is smart. It will learn. Now that you've learned how to surround yourself with English, we're ready for the final step. The one that will make this habit stay with you forever. Chapter 6. Practice thinking in English every day. Here's the truth. Thinking in English is not something you master in one day. It's a muscle. And just like any muscle, it grows when you use it every single day. You don't need hours. You don't need a complicated plan. You just need a small, clear, daily habit. Even 5 minutes a day can change how your brain works. If you wait for the perfect time, that time will never come. But if you start today, you will see the difference in weeks, not years. The magic is in small moments. You can think in English when you are on the bus, when you are walking to the store, when you are cooking, or when you are brushing your teeth. You don't need a desk. You don't need a book. You don't even need the internet. Your mind is your classroom, and your life is your practice field. Let's say you are walking. Instead of letting your thoughts wander in your native language, choose one thing to describe in English. The road is long. The car is red. The wind is cold. That's it. Simple, but powerful. Because every time you choose English, you are training your brain to make it the default. Before sleeping is another golden time. You are calm. Your mind is free. This is when you can think about your day in English. Just pick 3 things you did and make short sentences. I went to work. I ate pasta. I talked to my friend. It doesn't matter if it's simple. The habit is more important than the words. And here's a rule. Don't wait for perfect grammar or the perfect word. Thinking in English is about speed, not perfection, at least in the beginning. If you stop to check every word in your mind, you will break the flow. Imagine you are playing music. You don't stop after each note to check if it's perfect. You keep playing. That's how you must treat English in your head. Keep going. Keep the rhythm. Now, imagine this. Right now, you may need to pause, translate, and then speak. But if you spend just 5 minutes every day thinking in English, in 6 months you will be faster. You will not stop in the middle of your thoughts. You will speak like the words are waiting for you. You will feel confident. You will feel light. You will feel free. Here's your spike moment. Close your eyes for a second and imagine you are in a cafe with a friend who speaks only English. You are talking about your day. You are laughing. You are telling stories. And you are not pausing to translate. The words come like water. You are in the flow. That can be you, if you practice daily. So, here's the deal. Start small. Every day, find your English moment. It could be in the morning while making tea. It could be during lunch. It could be right before you sleep. Just make it happen every day. No excuses. No, I'm too busy. You can always find 5 minutes. And if you start today, your future self will thank you. Because the person you will become in 6 months will look back and say, I'm so glad I didn't wait. You have the choice right now. You can let this moment pass, or you can decide. Today is the day I start thinking in English every single day. The first step is small, but the effect is huge. And the only question left is, will you take it? If you enjoyed this lesson and you're serious about thinking in English, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my simple and powerful tips. Like this video, and leave a comment telling me which new tip you will try today. Also, share this video with a friend who is learning English too, because learning together makes it more fun. Remember, the sooner you start thinking in English, the sooner you'll speak with confidence. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next lesson.